The latest news we have right now coming out of not only the Middle East but several places in this world. I just want to go ahead and cover some of the latest headlines taking place regarding the world tensions, basically. Israel says that it will eliminate Assad. It will eliminate, quote unquote, Assad if he continues to let Iran operate from Syria. Their minister warned of this. And a little while ago, Israel was bracing for Iran's missile attack from from Syria over last month's deadly strike. They have been bracing for an attack from them ever since they struck them because of there was heated debates between Israel and Syria and Iran, and the surrounding countries hate Israel. They don't like Israel. It's really a bunch of bull. It's just crazy when they could just get along with that nation. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, they are preparing to go to war to block Iran in Syria. Benjamin Netanyahu himself stated that they're preparing to go to war right now. Now, it was stated a few minutes ago, and 16 hours ago apparently from the Jerusalem Post, Iran said they're planning to launch a barrage of missiles against Israel. So they told them be prepared for a barrage of missiles. You don't know when, but they basically stated that it's coming. So I know that Iran, Russia, and Syria are very close ties. They have very close ties with each other as allies, and that they stated that they would go against Israel if they had to just a while back, and the tensions between them heated up. So the defense officials are warning right now of this impending Iranian missile strike on northern Israel. So Iran is warning of a barrage of missiles. Not only Iran, but Israel was warning that if Syria continues their all of their illegal activities, which is understandable, that they will attack them. It's understandable why they don't want those kind of activities of those kind of weapons in the area. So for some reason, it's all just kind of heating up right now as the North Korean and South Korean peace talks are taking place. North Korea claimed that if you seen on, I don't know if it was Reuters News or another news source on YouTube a little while ago, posted a video several hours ago from now actually, that North Korea, regarding this current peace deal, stated that they can still strike the United States if they wanted to. For some reason, they just felt the need to say that. And I don't know if that was recent news or if that was news from a while back, but that's what he basically stated. Just saying that that's not off the table if they feel the necessary need to do so. And so they claim they're going to continue, as far as I know, with the proceedings of the peace deal and the peace talks, the meeting between President Trump and Kim Jong-un of North Korea. They still are going to, I believe they're still going to go through with that meeting. But North Korea stated that it didn't have anything to do with Donald Trump. It didn't have anything to do with our sanctions against them that made them decide to end their nuclear program and create peace between the two nations, which I suspect that would have something to do with it. But anyway, moving on to other news. If you check out the headline here, the deadline on the nuclear deal between Israel and Iran, basically Israel and Iran issue warnings to each other, but the deadline on that nuclear deal with Iran, as far as Iran, that was supposedly, it was a really, really not a very good nuclear deal. It made no sense, really, because they only have a few years that they're not allowed to use their nuclear program, and then they can do it after that period of time. That makes no sense. I mean, not at all, really. But the deadline to either reinstate it or get rid of it altogether is this next weekend. So we'll see what happens there. That's the deadline. And right now, tensions are taking place. They're asking who can prevent a war between Israel and Iran. Is it Russia? So they're wondering, can they step in and somehow prevent this war between Israel and Iran? But there are tensions between Israel, Russia, and Iran, so it's all crazy. But maybe it's prophetic. I don't know. I'm just watching. I'm just seeing what happens as all these world leaders and elites play their game of cards, their game of chess with everyone's lives, basically. And it was in the news just a few minutes ago, well, actually roughly almost an hour ago from now, that residents of Yemen's capital say that Saudi-led airstrikes have hit the presidential palace in Sana'a, causing casualties. So I'm going to look up the latest news on that. So they have actually, apparently Saudi Arabia, which I was thinking was remaining neutral and they were peaceful in this, so I don't know what their reasoning was behind this airstrike, but they have hit the nation of Saudi Arabia. It was Saudi-led airstrikes have hit the presidential office. They struck the presidential office in Yemen, and it killed 6 and injured 30 people. So individuals over there were stating that there's no information right now if the leaders were actually inside the palace at the time, but 6 people were killed and over 30 people were injured. And I'm sure that amount will probably increase as time moves on. It usually does as the information comes in, but maybe not. They targeted the presidential office in Yemen's Sana'a. The medical source told Sputnik on Monday that which is this morning, that the airstrikes just occurred a little while ago. So I'm not sure why they're striking Yemen. I guess we'll have to see why that's happening, but a lot of talking about that. So Israel says they will eliminate Assad if he continues to let Iran operate from Syria. I just announced that a moment ago. They threatened Assad over any Iranian attacks from Syria because of all of this, the nuclear tension. North Korea actually said that the United States' claims about the upcoming summit were misleading. But a few minutes ago, the news came in that Kim Jong-un received a USB from South Korea, so probably a thumb drive or a little flash drive from South Korea's president with a blueprint for connecting North Korea with this world. So when North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un stepped across the border that last month for that historic handshake, he also reportedly gave Kim Jong-un one more thing, a USB. It's a new economic map of the North Korean peninsula and other information, helping connect them with the rest of this world. So we'll see how that goes and what they have to say about that later. And apparently Kim Jong-un said, North Korea says that the United States is ruining the mood. That's what the latest news stated. With weeks to go before President Donald Trump and North Korea leader Kim Jong-un, the leader of North Korea, stated that they are expected to hold their first ever summit. Pyongyang on Sunday criticized what is called misleading claims that Trump's policy of maximum political pressure and sanctions are what drove the North Koreans to negotiate on this negotiating table. Well, the North's official news statement quoted a foreign ministry spokesman warning that the claims are a dangerous attempt to ruin a budding detonate or whatever on whatever that is, detente, whatever, on the North Korean peninsula after Kim's summit last month with the South Korean leader. He claims that the U.S. is deliberately provoking the DPPK at the time when the situation of the Korean peninsula is moving forward toward peace and reconciliation. That's what the spokesperson stated. Kim and Trump are expected to still meet later this month, or at least in early June. Trump has indicated the date and place has been chosen and said that he believes that the demilitarized zone that divides the Koreas might be a good venue. Singapore was also believed to be a potential site, but now it's looking like they will meet at the DNZ. It marks a unique opening of progress or a rehash of Pyongyang's long-standing demand of security guarantees. Sunday's comments were among the very few the North has made since Trump agreed in March to the meeting. So now they're accusing the United States of ruining this mood, ruining the mood ahead of this summit that they are having. So we'll see how that news develops over time as well. When I looked up ruining mood North Korea, I was trying to figure out or find the article where that stated that. They are trying to claim that the U.S. provocation threatens peace, says North Korea. North Korea is claiming that the United States' provocation threatens peace. A few days ago, it might have been a couple of days ago, they stated that President Trump was not going to get the Nobel Peace Prize because, well, actually they stated the commission ahead of the Nobel Peace Prize committee basically stated that they were not going to give any Nobel Peace Prizes this year due to all of the issues surrounding current situations. And they're claiming because of the harassment charges against the president, they weren't going to do that, even though regardless of previous administrations having similar issues and previous individuals having similar issues, they're still just going to, in order to avoid any controversy, they're not going to give any Nobel Peace Prize this year, according to what I heard yesterday. So it's just crazy. But North Korea stated that the pressure and military threats against it has the two countries prepare for a historic summit. They warned the United States about using any pressure and military threats against it. I do apologize for the notifications again. And there's a lot of back and forth rhetoric taking place in North Korea. So they regularly criticize the United States, but there have been few attacks in recent weeks amid the plans for the summit. The North Korean official quoted by the state said that that Washington was misleading public opinion by saying the denuclearization pledge resulted from the sanctions and other pressure. So they're trying to say that basically the United States didn't have anything to do with it and our sanctions didn't have anything to do with that. So there's that. Mr. Trump says a date and venue for the talks have been decided, but he's still not really revealed them, the exact plans on that. He's trying to say that we're testing them in order to try to get a particular response, but I don't know. He's trying to say that we provocated it or something like that. So if you've also been keeping up with the news online, Putin is actually sworn in as of a few minutes ago as Russia's president for a fourth term. So Putin did a speech just a little while ago stating that this is a new dawning of Russia, that to work internationally, basically he stated that we will work internationally with other countries as basically try to work together for the betterment and unification of nations. That's what Putin was trying to say as Russia amid all of the protests. So a few years ago, everyone acted like that they were for Putin over there, that the majority of the people were supportive of Putin. But now there were so many clashes and protests taking place. You can see these various images of people protesting in Russia. They were protesting Putin's election. So all of these individuals were coming out to, I believe this is from Reuters News, were going out to protest Putin's election. They did not want Putin as president of Russia anymore, as the supreme leader of Russia. So some people, some news sources, including the Washington Post, stated that Putin launches another term as Russia's president, and it might even be his last. So this was coming out of the Washington Post and Moscow of Russia. They said we needed toughness and consistency, the readiness to take responsibility and realize the decisions made on the basis of modern approaches, Putin said. So earlier, Putin stated when he was being reelected, or well, when he was being sworn in again, that it was a time of unification, trying to work with other countries, but we must, on the world stage, that they must see basically that everyone has to work together as long as it benefits all, and working with not only the European nations, the European Union, working with the Middle Eastern nations, certain places. He was stating that they basically to work together for unification and betterment of all involved in this particular system that's been created. So something like that, something to that degree is what he was stating, but that it was full of these new challenges and unusual events in the world we see now. But he has been officially sworn in as the president of Russia, once again, as the leader of Russia again. So it's his fourth term. Multiple news sources are speaking of that. He has been inaugurated as his fourth term as president. Vladimir Putin was inaugurated for a new 6-year term as Russian president after winning the re-election in March. Putin took the oath of office in gold-leafed Betek Hall in Kremlin, vowing to pursue an economic agenda to boost living standards across his country. Now we must all use existing possibilities. First of all, for resolving international urgent tasks of development for economic technological breakthroughs for raising competitiveness in those spheres and determining the future. He said that in his speech. That's what Vladimir Putin said. So this is just some of the latest news, the latest world news regarding various things around this world. I just wanted to give you some of the latest news, and thank you all for watching. And I send much love. That's all for now. Peace. Bye.